When Egypt rose once more from the ashes of its own decay, it was not a rebirth of virtue. It was the resurrection of control. The Nile had seen too many gods die, too many temples built upon lies, and too many kings crowned upon bones. What the priests called divine restoration was merely the return of hierarchy, disguised as harmony. The House of Amenemhat was not born to serve faith, but to tame it. The pharaoh became no longer a god of love or fertility, but a strategist, a master of perception. The temples that once bled the kingdom dry were now absorbed into the machinery of the state. Religion did not die, it was nationalized. The Middle Kingdom learned that control required illusion, and illusion required a new myth: the sanctity of the mother, the virtue of the woman, the eternal balance between the feminine and the masculine. But balance never existed. It was a doctrine forged by fear. Behind every hymn to the goddess stood a man writing the law, and behind every statue of a queen stood a court drowning in deceit. Women were not exalted because they ruled. They were exalted because men needed symbols to justify their own weakness. A woman's face became the face of mercy, but her image was sculpted by the same hands that enslaved her. Thus began Egypt's illusion of matriarchy, a ritual of power where femininity was worshipped, only to be contained. Senusret, the iron ruler of order, understood what his predecessors had forgotten: that a nation ruled by emotion collapses, but a nation ruled by fear endures. He built fortresses instead of gardens, and laws instead of songs. His monuments did not speak of love or beauty, but of surveillance walls and eyes carved in stone, to remind the people that their loyalty was not to the gods, but to the one who controlled them. The court poets called it the Age of Balance. The truth was simpler. It was the age of submission disguised as harmony. The priestesses sang to the goddesses, but they too bowed to the throne. The idea of womanly power became an ornament, a myth used to conceal the sterilization of true freedom. In the name of the goddess, men ruled unchallenged, and when rebellion stirred, it was suffocated beneath the veil of sanctity. Egypt had learned a dark secret: to enslave a mind, give it a symbol to worship; to silence rebellion, call it blasphemy; and to enslave a nation, let it believe it is liberated. Thus the Nile flowed, carrying the corpses of ideal and the whispers of queens who never truly ruled. By the time Amenemhat III built his labyrinth, Egypt had become what it always feared to be: a machine of obedience, a paradise of order built upon psychological submission. The Middle Kingdom was the perfection of illusion. The pharaohs ruled not with divinity, but with ideology. And beneath the statues and hymns, a silent truth persisted: that in Egypt, as in all empires, the greatest power belonged not to gods or kings, but to those who could define truth itself.